In the vineyard, producers can influence the quality and style of the wine they make through their choice of vineyard location, planting methods, and decisions made during the year, but they are still largely at the mercy of nature. When the grapes are harvested, they bear the hallmark of the conditions in that particular vineyard in that year. Each of the seasons, therefore, has a significant role to play in the winemaking process. Bud break is the first sign of the annual growth of the vine. This is when the buds swell and open, allowing green shoot tips to break through. Once the buds have opened, foliage develops. The shoots grow rapidly and leaves appear. Tiny embryo bunches of flowers are found on the young shoots. The embryo bunches enlarge and small green flowers bloom. Over the next 10 days, pollination and fertilization take place. Most of the set or fertilized flowers, about 70%, now develop into berries. The others fail to grow and eventually fall off. The first sign of ripening is when the berries increase in size and change color, to red in red grapes and green-yellow in white. The leaves fall naturally from the vine sometime after the grapes have ripened. This makes the end of its productive cycle. January to June. In the Northern Hemisphere, the warm spring weather brings the vineyards to life. In the South, the grapes go through their final ripening stages and harvest begins. Pruning starts in January. It is the process in which the previous year's growth is removed from the vine, reducing the number of potential buds and thus the quality of grapes. It is one of the main ways of controlling yields and producing more concentrated fruit. There are a number of different pruning systems available to growers, with cane, 1 or 2 canes with more buds, and spur, more canes but fewer buds on each, being the most important. The system used depends on the climate, grape variety, method of harvest, and in European wine appellations, local legislation. Plowing. The soil between the vines is plowed in March-April to aerate it. Banked-up earth is also removed from around the base of the vines. New plantings. In April-May, fragile new vines are taken out of the nursery and planted in the vineyard. Frost danger. In frost-prone areas, growers bring heaters, wind machines, and even sprinklers into the vineyards to protect the fragile buds. Spraying the vines with pesticides begins in May-June to protect against insect and fungal diseases. Cooler and more humid areas require more frequent spraying. Training. Following flowering, the shoots are tied to their training wires. In Europe, training systems are often dictated by regional tradition. July to December. While the Northern Hemisphere vineyards warm up for their most important annual event, the harvest, the Southern Hemisphere spends time concentrating on preparation and nurturing new growth. If flowering and fruit set are successful come July, quality-conscious growers remove some grape bunches to reduce their yield. Summer pruning takes place here in Côte Blanc vineyards in the Northern Rhône, France. Spraying, now mostly done mechanically, against fungal diseases, pests, and weeds continues and stops 4 weeks before harvest. Equipment is prepared during August and September, and as harvest approaches, the grapes are regularly tested for ripeness with a refractometer. The September-October harvest is the culmination of the year's work in the vineyard. Good weather conditions and decisions by the grower at this time can make or break a vintage. As the grapes ripen, sugar levels rise while acidity falls, and the harvest is timed to achieve a perfect balance between these elements. Weather conditions play a vital role. Rainfall at the wrong time leaves the grapes vulnerable to rot, and water on the bunches at picking dilutes the juice. In European viticultural areas, the earliest harvest date is set by local authorities. Manual harvesting is generally considered to be gentler on the grapes and vines. However, machine harvesting is significantly cheaper and in warmer climates allows the picking to take place in the cool of night. In October, some of the old wood is removed from the vines and any unproductive, older vines are dug up. The vineyard is then plowed. For sweet wines, grapes are often left to hang on the vine longer, harvested late and pressed to release sweeter juice. Where winter temperatures fall below freezing, as in Ontario, Canada, concentrated juice from frozen grapes is used to make ice wine. After the harvest, the vine begins to build up reserves of energy for the months ahead. The bases of the vines are banked up with soil in November to protect against low winter temperatures.